You're listening to the Ballet Piano Podcast, lifting the lid on dance accompaniment.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to the Ballet Piano Podcast for 2024.
Yay!
My name is Chris Hobson, and as you can hear, around the coffee table with me is Akiko Hobson.
Hello.
Mr. Matt Gregory.
Hello, listeners.
And of course, David Yao.
Hi there.
So, ladies and gentlemen, listeners and viewers, if you are watching on the VOD or the pod, watching, listening, however we are, we're back. This is it. We've got a brand new season of episodes coming for you. So we're going to treat this one a little bit like a catch-up because you won't believe it. Actually, you guys might not believe it. The last time we were sitting on this sofa was when we broadcast live in June 2022.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was a blooming long time ago.
Yeah, because it was just after Hazel was
just
born,
after the
wasn't
baby
it?
was born. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
18
yes.
months ago, pretty much.
Yes. So this is a catch up with the team, and it's a chance for us to tell you what we've been up to and not been up to.
So we haven't spoken in a year and a half, have we?
I don't know. Does anybody know the last time the four of us were together? Because we all see each other sort
Like
of
3 or
separately,
2.
three
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
two.
it's
Yeah.
been a while, hasn't it?
But I don't know when we were all last together.
Yeah.
Probably then, maybe.
Possibly, we might have done one in between.
Did we go to theatre together maybe?
Oh, did we?
No, you didn't come.
Guys and
No.
Dolls?
Did you go to a Guys and Dolls?
Yeah. Oh, you weren't there.
I've seen it
Or was it
twice.
different one?
I've seen it twice.
Right, water cooler podcast. But yeah, it's been a while since we've all been together. So, shall I start off with what I've been up to? Because I've had a journey, a little bit,
Oh, yeah, you go. Go on.
since we last produced an episode.
Do you mean like your midlife crisis journey?
I had a midlife crisis. It's like,
No, you didn't.
no, well, not
You
really.
did.
I just decided we had, so for the loyal listeners, will remember we had a baby and that was announced. And then I reassessed my life a little bit. I don't know what's important. What do I want to do? What is it? So I quit my job. And then, as all good people do, I was like, what am I going to do
Just
now?
after you had a baby, yeah?
Yeah, so 9 months after we had a baby.
9 months after.
9 months after we had the baby,
not
I was like, I
straight away.
reassessed my priorities slightly. I was like, I don't know if I want to be a ballet pianist anymore. So I played a ballet class and then I finished my work and I was like, right, that's it. What do I do now? So I took a job as a tour manager, going away all the time, which was not really probably what I should have done. And it was all right. I learned some new skills. I had a go. But
How did you know that that's what you were wanted to go for a job, or didn't you? How did that even come about with the job with the orchestra?
because
You were just searching for arts
I
jobs?
just
or
searched
stuff?
for any arts jobs because I handed in my notice without any idea of what I was going to do. And I was like, I was like, oh God, someone's got to pay for the nursery fees and Akiko can't pay 100% of it.
I thought you were going to be full time, like house husband and look after baby.
Finally
every
doing
day
that
and
steam
change
mopping.
nappies.
I'm
Yeah.
finally steaming up, yes. No, so I went away a little bit and then I realised it's not for me. I was like, well, what do I do? I was like, well, I played a ballet class. Matt and Akiko and I were sitting around on a Sunday afternoon. So, there's a class coming up at a ballet school in London. I was like, do you know what? I could do that. Do you remember? It was at Central Ballet School. Ka-ching. That's not a ka-clang moment. No, it is.
There's
Central was
so
great.
many ballet
It
classes
was.
that go
But
on.
No, I think you were asked to do it and you couldn't do it. So I was like, do you know what? Yeah, I was like, I can do that. And it was the first time back in the studio for months. And my technique had gone a little bit because it had been many
Did you
months.
even have one?
I didn't have any technique. You're so
Don't.
rude. Have you missed this, listeners? Because I haven't. But yeah, so that was it. And I'm just slowly building back up now as a freelancer in London, doing bits and bobs sort of half the time, picking up classes and not, and then looking after the baby and doing bits and bobs on the side. So that's, my life changed dramatically from doing probably 30 classes a week to doing 4. But if you can see me now, this is going to make it to a social edit, isn't it? If you can see me now, I've got a massive smile on my face and I sleep better and I'm not stressed. So I now work in every hemisphere going, not just a Western hemisphere.
Oh.
Yeah.
My life really hasn't changed.
Have you not?
Your class
Always-
schedule's changed a lot.
I'm still a ballet pianist.
You're still a ballet pianist, but
But probably Matt is the busiest ballet pianist among
I
us.
do work a lot, but then that's because I really enjoy it. I don't know.
I know what it's slightly different now for you is you started to do more rap and things.
I mean, I don't really play. I mean, I can read sheet music, of course, but it's never been my thing, has it, to play for the variation classes? But working with One Anita Young, I feel like it's now become something that's expected in a nice way. And I feel like it's really, I feel I'm never going to say I'm amazing at it, but she would never say that. She's polite enough.
she is very
You know what I
polite.
mean?
Yes.
And she lets me make my mistakes and she can sing over it and she really helps me along. And then when you've played it 30 times, it's sort of, it's there, isn't it?
When you
But
played it
then-
30 times, you're in the ballet company period. So it's like,
Well,
oh,
yeah.
yeah, it's old hat. I can play it with my eyes
Yeah.
closed now.
Yeah. So that's sort of what I've been doing a bit each week as well.
And you now
And
know
I'll
when
do-
they go, we'll go from the glissade section, you go, oh, I know where that is. I don't even need to look.
Yeah. And I mean, I do quite enjoy it. I feel like it's sort of professional development, isn't it?
Yeah.
To, what are you sniggering for?
I'm not saying I'm just saying, it just, the last, when we first sat around
Every
here-
day is a school day.
It is. No, when we first sat
I'm
around.
improving myself.
When we first sat around this, you were the one who said, I do classes, I don't do solos, I don't do repertoire.
I don't do contemporary.
That was like episode number 1. Hello, let us introduce ourselves. And look at how we've all evolved 4 years later.
It has changed a bit.
And actually, I do quite enjoy those school classes because they're Wednesday, Thursday, Friday afternoon, and every class there's going to be something that's prescribed musically.
Yeah.
So I think at the end of the day, if I've got that sheet music, I'm forced to sight read it. First time, it won't be very good. Third and fourth time, it gets better.
That goes in, it doesn't matter how good your sight reading level is, I think.
Yeah.
Because we're always our own, worst critic, aren't we?
Yeah.
So what you say isn't very good, it's fine to dance to. And what I say, oh, that was awful, it's still fine to dance to.
But we said this recently, didn't we, about sight reading in a ballet class or variation situation. When you're just playing piano music and you are sight reading, you can stop and just go back and do that bar. But when you're sight reading a variation, you've got to get to the end
Exactly.
for the sake of dancers. So your sight reading will get good much quicker
Just because of that.
because you can't stop.
We've had this recently with Joshua, who is, by the way, listeners, coming up for 10 years old as we record this. Do you remember that little cough that happened for you? Like, yeah, he's a proper man now. He's like, I was famous. I was on the Ballet Piano podcast. 12 people listened.
Well, he's doing great fun.
He's doing great fun. And I
piano.
couldn't understand why everybody needs to stop and go back and sort of
Yeah.
correct their mistakes. He said, well, that's because people aren't ballet pianists. People just like want to have it perfect and you have to go back and fix it. Whereas that's not the ballet pianist training. It's like if you play a wrong note, you've just got to even just look up and sort of, you're like, sorry, that was me.
Yeah.
And then forget about it and move on. So, Akiko,
Yes.
what have you been up to?
Well, I've been playing for ballet continuously. It just the location has been changed.
Yes.
It's not Western. How do you say it?
Hemisphere.
I cannot say this word.
Hemisphere.
Hemisphere, but it's a bit central now.
Oh, so you work in the central hemisphere now.
Well, it's a bit like a central ballet of Britain, isn't it?
Are you not allowed to say the name?
I can say it, but I just didn't, like I think everybody's preference, but I just personally don't want to be judged in either way that because I work here, whether I'm good, I'm not good. I just want people to judge me playing and then decide whether, people like me playing or not. Just because where I work doesn't mean anything, So if anybody wants to Google my name, I'm sure it will come up as a staff list. So please go ahead, but I don't need to say it.
Well, you're a social media sensation as
You
well,
are now
aren't you?
becoming, I mean, this is your
They're
new
using
hobby.
you for the social media.
You are now our
Part of social media.
You are the social media manager. Well, you and Matt
Please follow me.
on at Ballet Piano Podcast. And yeah, you've decided to become an influencer as well.
No, but I actually quite enjoyed over last few years, with the podcast and things. And I got a personal message from some of the especially like Japanese listeners asking some things. And I quite liked communicating with these people that, most of them I don't meet. But, they're interested in, ballet or, what we do. And it's quite interesting. And I quite like, communicating with the people that I still don't know. And I thought it's like a new way of communicating with the people far away. Do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I enjoy. Yeah.
That's good. And if you want to see everything that happens in the Hobson family, you can check out Akiko Hobson, because pretty much everything ends up on there, from me not doing the steam mopping to having brunch with Matt, doesn't it?
Well, the other thing is like I'm trying to make a CD and it's taking a long time.
Because you're very busy.
You now appreciate how hard I work to produce my 16 CDs at Modern Ballet Studio Melodies. Yes.
Yes. I respect it. I'm like halfway of recording, but not mentioning about editing and other stuff that I don't really know yet. So, but one day I get there.
Yes.
But you're editing the album, aren't you?
I'm going to take a percentage off the top for editing it. So I'm not charging an upfront fee. I'll just... you don't give all of your sort of soul out, It's like,
but look, my smile will fulfill you.
bloody won't. Anyway, so moving on, David, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
I know we spent New Year's together. We had New Year's Eve together, didn't we? A little bit.
Well, that was fun.
But go on, professionally for the podcast, how are you? What have you been up to for the last 18 months?
I'm still teaching at that.
Western Hemisphere?
In the Western Hemisphere.
But in between the time when I've had some time off, I've been to South Africa for a month. That was fantastic, teaching the company, Cape Town Ballet.
Yes.
Cape Town City Ballet. It was really, really good for me, as you're talking about development, professional development. I'd never done that before for so long. I've taught companies before, but just on the odd chance. But this was for a whole month. And I had a fantastic time. I was a bit nervous about it because I hadn't done it before, but I really enjoyed it. And South Africa is beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. I recommend it. If anybody has the chance to go, please go.
Didn't you buy some really nice clothes as well?
I did. I had a great time. I really did. So yeah.
So when were you there? When was that? In the summer of 2022?
Yeah.
Okay.
The whole of August.
Because that was a busy summer for all of us, wasn't it? Because you, Matt,
what was I doing? Tell me.
I think you were doing back to school summer schools because the world was properly opening up back then. So you were doing like back to ballet courses for the summers. We went to Japan for like 6 weeks or something like that.
That was good.
David, you went to South
Right.
Africa for a month. We all lost contact. We said that we'd bring the podcast back. It's like, we're going to have a summer off and then we'll be back. And now we've had 2 summers and 2 Christmases off. And it's another new year, but now we're back.
Didn't you have a cruise ship?
I went on a cruise as well.
yeah.
Oh, that was bliss, absolute bliss.
Because all we received are all the pictures from the ship.
When David's quite quiet on WhatsApp groups, but when he's on holiday, you are just absolutely littered with...
Yeah.
I get very jealous of your pictures when you're on holiday. It's not fair. You live the dream when you're on holiday.
Absolutely
But you also
gorgeous.
work so blooming hard that you deserve to live the dream.
Yeah, it was a treat. It really was.
Where was the cruise? Where did you go?
I went round. What did I do?
The Med.
Mediterranean. Yeah. Portugal and Spain, France. It was fantastic. It really was.
I think you brought back a really good bottle of port from Portugal, didn't you?
Gorgeous. It didn't last very long. It was gorgeous. And I've been to Hong Kong and back to Hong Kong again, which was great. I hadn't been there for a long time, since before the pandemic.
Right.
So that was really nice to see some friends. But yeah, busy.
That was it, because that was it. We were able to track you because you got quite quiet on social media, but we've got so many friends who were over in Hong Kong that we could track you through our sort of like related friends' social media accounts.
Yeah.
So this season that's coming up this year, there's going to be X number of episodes, sort of 15 to 20 episodes that we've got planned that are coming up with a lot of things in them. So we've got the next episode that we're going to release. It sort of follows on with our 10 Commandments that we did back in the day, which I think was back in 2021. We're going to talk about our tips for new teachers and tips for ballet pianists. We've got some possibly contentious topics that we could discuss, and we will discuss without the need for the legal eagles getting involved. I mean, how you make it work if you're in a bit of a sticky situation and things like that. And we've got interviews with some of the greats of the music and ballet world. Like, we've recorded an amazing interview it's not even an interview, it's just literally the most candid in conversation I think we've ever had with Gavin Sutherland, where he let's be honest, he couldn't have been more honest, could he? Was completely honest. We've got Philip Feeney coming up. We've got
the new directors of London City Ballet coming on.
London City Ballet, Jonathan Lowe, who is now the music director of Australian Ballet.
Yeah.
Jeanette Wong, who is the company pianist from BRB. So we've got an absolute, basically, like a round-the-world buffet of everything to do with ballet.
It's like everyone you'd want at your fantasy dinner party, let's be honest.
And then you got
Or is that just me?
That's just
I'm a bit of a bunhead.
No, it's not. So we've got it all coming up. So thank you for listening to this episode. Stay tuned, and we're going to be coming in your ears weekly from now. So for now, it's goodbye from me.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.